Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm Hilda Salinas, Elections Analyst with the Hidalgo County Elections Department. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the elected officials and representatives from elected officials' offices that are here present with us today. We have Alex Rios from State Representative Terry Canales' office. We also have Mr. David Suarez from Commissioner David Fuentes' office. I think he's back there. Also, Tax Assessor Collector Paul Villarreal. We also have Mr. Andy Morales, State Representative Oscar Longoria's office. Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. And is there anybody else that I did not acknowledge? Great. The office of Congressman Henry Cuellar. Desi Romero, Office of Congress Vicente Gonzalez's office. Thank you for being here. At this time, Elections Administrator Yvonne Ramon will be giving the opening remarks, and our guest speaker will be Hidalgo County Judge Ramon Garcia. After they both speak, they will begin to take questions from the media. And at this time, I introduce Judge Ramon Garcia.
Well, good morning. And welcome to this open house, this event, this ceremony to introduce our community, our county community, to our new method of exercising our right, our privilege, one can say, our obligation, which is to exercise our right to vote in our representative democracy. You know, we've come a long way in the last, 50 years. People were voting by paper and paper ballots, and then they introduced the Shoop lever voting machines. Those things were the most accurate machines, and the way they worked, they were simple, except they were bulky. And, those huge machines, you have to transport them. The most important guy in conducting an election was a guy in that pickup that was delivering them all over the county so people could vote. We did away with the Shoop liver machines in 2002 or 2003. Right after the HAVA Act came into being, and the government was requiring and assisting us in purchasing voting machines. And we did that in 2003 or 4. And subsequent to that, we have, outgrown those machines that we purchased. And today we're here to introduce our new top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art method of exercising our right to vote. And I've actually been introduced to them, and they're really. I really think that the community is going to enjoy exercising their obligation on these machines, and I guess I'm old enough that I can talk about when the machines first came into being. I didn't trust them. For whatever reason, I didn't understand them, and I always felt like there was, somebody that's knowledgeable, some Russian or some 400-pound guy could mess around with those machines, and I wouldn't know the difference, and I wouldn't know they were accurate. But we have found in every one of our elections that these machines do work properly, do work accurately, and I'm very proud to be here, to be a part of this celebration or event, open house, and I better stick to my comments here. I consider the ability to vote as one of our greatest rights and privileges. Our county has two obligations in running elections. One is to ensure that all registered voters have access to vote, and 2, to ensure that your vote counts. I am pleased to be here in support of the Hidalgo County Elections Department as they introduce a new voting system that will do just that. In addition, these machines meet the American with Disabilities standards. They are easier to transport and set up, and human error will be reduced through this new automated system. This is the next level in election technology, and I am proud that Hidalgo County will be able to offer it to our voters. Elections Administrator Mrs. Yvonne Ramon and her staff will go into greater detail, but suffice it to say that these new machines will make voting more accessible and user-friendly, whether you select to vote in English or Spanish. Commissioners Court approved the purchase of this new voting system and machines at a cost of nearly $5.5 million on February the 6th of this year. The Elections Department is spending the summer and fall training election workers on the setup and use of these machines and demonstrating the machines to the general public so that our registered voters feel comfortable when using them. They will be in place to use during the November 7th constitutional election. This is just one step that the county has taken to help improve the voting experience, access to voting, and accountability to ensure that your vote counts. I am pleased to announce that the Commissioners Court has approved having the Elections Department work toward establishing a county-wide polling program for all elections, beginning with the November election. What this means is that for the November constitutional election, voters will be able to cast their ballots at the poll site that is most convenient to them. You're not going to have to go out there on election day running around all over the county trying to figure out where does precinct 3 vote and where does compare to precinct 30 and et cetera, trying to find your location. And then when you find out, you finally get there because that's where you voted. The last time you voted, now they changed it. And now you're going to have to find a new location. Well, all that kind of confusion is going to be done away with. We will also take up at the next Commissioners Court meeting an item to increase the pay for election workers as well as the pay received when they attend training. The state recommends that election workers be paid $7 an hour for training. We're not going to do that to people. We're going to go out there and try to vote on a matter where we will be paying our election workers an hourly. The clerks are going to be getting $12 an hour. The election judges will be getting $14, and we're going to try to get that same amount to be paid to them for training, because we need good election clerks and judges, and we want to encourage them to receive the training necessary for them to do their jobs. And paying them a decent wage is one way of showing them that their roles are valued and important. We want to thank you for joining us today, and remember, if you aren't registered to vote, do so and exercise your right and privilege. Before I sit down, I want to talk about our elections department. They have been doing an incredible job. It used to be that we would have so many election complaints and we had fewer people voting. Today, we've got, at our last general election, we had over 176,000 people vote. And our numbers came in on time. Our numbers came in accurate, and that is due to the competent staff and the leadership of Ms. Yvonne Ramon, our elections administrator. And I certainly want to, on behalf of the County Commissioners Court, congratulate her and her staff. And thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge Ramon Garcia. At this time, I introduce Elections Administrator Yvonne Ramon.
Honorable Judge Ramon Garcia said it exactly right. This is certainly a celebration. We have come such a long way to get to this point, such a hard-working staff, and I cannot get started without, first of all, thanking our Honorable Judge for his support. It's our ups and downs trying to get to this point, but you know what? It's through his support, continuous support, that we are able to arrive here today. Of course, it's also an honor to thank our commissioners, Commissioner Precinct 1 Fuentes, Commissioner Precinct 2 Cantu, Commissioner Precinct 3 Flores, and Commissioner Precinct 4 Palacios. They have also been such a great support to us, along with our judge, in making sure that we took this process and that we got to this point here today. I cannot move forward without thanking my outstanding supervisors. Michael Sosa is my IT supervisor. Melissa Alvarez next to him is my operations officer. Belinda, right here to my right, is my voter registration supervisor. And Brenda Renteria at the end is my GIS supervisor. And it is through their leadership and their support that we are able to also come through with our elections the way that we have. We have done a complete turnaround and made sure that every time that voter selects that ballot, that it is the correct ballot, and it takes all of us. I also cannot move forward without thanking Hilda Salinas, who is my elections analyst, and I give her full credit for being here today. She has taken over and overseen with due diligence and hard work all the processes necessary, coordinating and bringing together so that an event like this can happen, and not just the event, but what we are celebrating as well. She's the newest member of my team, and she is outstanding. Members of my staff are everywhere today, and without them, we cannot move forward. So to each and every one of them, including, where is Melanie at the end? She is my accountant, and it's because of Melanie and her hard work, along with our purchasing department, our budget department, our auditors, and everyone else involved, to be able to make a purchase such as we are making here, have already made here, to get us to this point. And so, Melanie, thank you so much. She has done an outstanding job as well. As well, again, to members of my staff, they're all wearing their tags, and thank you to each and every one of them. Along with them comes the different departments, our district attorney's office, our public affairs, our budget, purchasing, auditors, facilities management. There's nothing we won't ask for, that they are there to help us and to guide us along the way, and thank you is sometimes never enough. I want to also call out a special thank you to Jackie Trevino. She's from Public Affairs, and she has produced a video that we are going to see at this moment on the screen. So let's take a moment to view this video that she helped us produce, and it'll guide you and lead you a little bit into why we are here today.
The Newhart Verity Touch is a modern touchscreen voting machine that is accurate and simple to use. The lightweight, compact design makes it easy to transport and set up. This voting system is federally and state certified, meeting all certification standards. Casting a ballot on Verity Touch is simple. Once you're given your randomly generated code, you can go to any voting booth, type in your code, and begin. The 12-inch touchscreen features large print that is easy to read and understand, resulting in fewer keystrokes and higher voter satisfaction. The Verity Touch voting machine offers ballots in English or Spanish, helping Hidalgo County voters cast a ballot in the language of their choice. The Verity Access Controller offers large, easy-to-read buttons for superior accuracy, usability, and durability. It also features braille labels, beveled edges, and audio ballot support. This allows all voters, including those with disabilities, to cast their ballots privately and independently. The Newhart Verity Touch. It's easy, accessible, and coming to a polling location near you.
So when did this journey begin? Back in 2011, I found myself sitting at this national conference class, and they started talking to us about the lifespan of our voting equipment that we were using at that time, and we recently just stopped using. And they started to tell us that we needed to get prepared, that soon the lifespan of that voting equipment was at an end, and the sad part was that we were not going to receive any funding from either the federal government, as we had from HAVA, or the state. So we needed to prepare. As soon as I got back from that conference, I went straight to our chief budget officer, Mr. Cruz, and I told him, I said, what are we going to do? It's still 5-6 years up the road, but I want to be prepared. And every year, when we'd have our annual meeting, of course we meet all year, but when we'd have our annual meeting, I would bring the topic up, and he'd say, we're getting ready, don't worry, we're prepared. And he was prepared when the time came that we finally made that decision. And I thank him, because it was through his support as well that we were able to secure the funding, because millions of dollars is not something to sneeze at. And it is very, very much an endeavor that we made sure. As soon as that happened, I made sure that we went out, that we talked to all the vendors that had the different types of equipment. I had various demonstrations throughout the years, invited the community, as I have here today. We invited all stakeholders, and a decision then was made to recommend to our Commissioners Court to help us then secure Hart Verity. I would like to call out Simon Saenz. Simon, if you could raise your hand. Simon represents, he's our project manager for Hidalgo County, and he is with Hart Verity, a company that as soon as I met, I knew that they were an outstanding company, professional, knowledgeable. They've been in the United States over 100 years. They are actually housed out of Austin, Texas. So they're very, very close and very near to our hearts now, because they have proved to us, they have done tremendous, tremendous efforts to be here, to support us, and to be successful. So thank you, Simon. And I know you're here on behalf of President Mr. Braithwaite and Felice Liston, who was our sales representative, and now Simon is there anytime that we need him. So thank you for that. So we're here, we're celebrating, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I appreciate the media being here as well. I know that this is a celebratory event, and believe me, as a staff member, as an elections administrator, I take great pride in the responsibility that I have in leading this county with the voting. Please know that I am a member not just of legislative teams, I'm also a board member of our Texas Association of Elections Administrators, and I just got back from a national conference on cybersecurity, on certification at the federal and the state level, and I keep up with what the needs are for our community, for our county, not just our voters, but for everyone. So thank you for being here once again. And please, after we finish with our question and answers, I want you to go around, and please know that if there are any community events that you would like us to join you at, we will. We have already been at various schools. We've been at Region 1. We've been to Dare to Prepare. But we want to be at more places, making sure that our voters this November 7th are ready to join us with this new equipment. Reiterating what Judge Ramon Garcia said, is yesterday we took the second step for the countywide polling place program. We will be, I have no doubt that we will be accepted into this program, so that we will try out this November the possibility now you can vote anywhere on Election Day. No more turning away voters because they find themselves at the wrong poll location. No more losing that vote, because state statute says that if you find yourself and vote on a provisional ballot and you find yourself at the wrong precinct, your ballot will not count. That is state law. We won't have to worry about that anymore, because as long as you're registered, and you heard Judge Garcia said, make sure that you're registered. Be sure to call the office and check on your voting status. If you've not received your voter certificate, obviously something's wrong. So let's get all that fixed, and let's move together as a county, not to be 10th in voting results, but to be number 1. We can, as a county, join together and make sure that the honor of our vote counts. We have always very important elections before us: city, school, state, county, federal. special elections with our irrigation districts. Find out, be informed. Find out what elections are, the honor for you to vote in that election. Find out which elections are taking place. Be informed is always, always the key to making our county better than it is today and a great success when it comes to voting. Thank you.